I think we often become the people as a result of like what emotions we decide to feed.
Focus on love, love what's in focus, aim for above because the ceiling's focus. Focus on love what's in focus, aim for above because the ceiling is bogus. Focus on love. This is another episode of Famous Rapper Convos. I'm David Prorock. And who are you?
Josiah Swanson.
AKA
J Swiss, which is my rap name as of 2 seconds ago, and also JJ Swanson is my musician name.
Nice. AKA the Young Swan.
There
AKA
it is.
son of a swan.
Mm.
All right. Anyway, cool. So thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, bro.
You reached out about getting mentorship about your music career because recently you have decided to like go more public with it. You have an EP that you already created, and you've been making music for a while, but could you tell us a little bit more about that? Like, if you were to go back to when you first got involved with music, and if you could tell the full story of how you got to where you are today in about 3 minutes, what's that story?
What's that story? Man, got a guitar in 4th grade. I started taking guitar lessons for a guy named Andy McKee. And learning from him was kind of like learning how to walk from Usain Bolt. He is a exceptional musician. Our last lesson I go in, and he's like, "Hey, bro, this is our last lesson." I'm like, okay, like that's fine. Like, what's going on? He goes, "Bro, I just posted my music to YouTube, and I just got on, and I'm on the front page, and I just got off the phone with the owner of Universal Records, and we were talking about going on tour with Jack Johnson, and like he just blew up overnight, and all he did was put his music on YouTube, and yeah, check him out, Andy McKee. He's one of the greatest guitarists. Like, sounds like I'm exaggerating, but like he's exceptional. Check him out.
Sweet, I definitely will. Googled it already, awesome. Andy McKee.
Yeah, I'm curious how many views he has on YouTube. Drifting was probably the one that he blew up the most too.
Nice. So you got lessons from him in 4th grade, and you've been some places since then, I believe.
Yeah, a couple, 1 or 2. I've been all over the place. My dad's in the military, so growing up, we just moved everywhere. Probably like 7 different states by the age of 7, and settled down in Kansas to be closer to family. Graduated from Kansas University, and then I moved to India for 2 years. Moved to California, was a sales rep, was in a bunch of surgeries, and then decided to come back and start working on stuff musically. But the music starting, so Andy literally, like, the greatest musician ever, taught me what a G chord was. And so like he has like, you know, all this skill, but I don't even know how to strum correctly. And so he was, I mean, I wish I could go back and like get lessons from him again now when like it would actually like benefit me. But like,
yeah,
I always hesitate to share that because people like expect great things from like your guitar when you share like who you've learned from. But I know a little bit more than the G chord right now.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, you should hit him up and be like, well, remember, I think we had 1 lesson left. I've already paid for it back when I was in 4th grade. And
yes. Yes. Yeah. Hey, bro, man, back in the day, there was one time like you showed up late. I think you still owe me 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So what have you been up to with your music recently?
Yeah. So I was talking to you a little bit earlier about my friend with breast cancer. Her name was Carol Lee. And we were friends, but I think there's something about the intimacy of like your final days. We're just getting time with people, like suddenly like your time together, since it has like a very near end, man, that time is just so much more meaningful and intimate. And so I was going through like my own things, like a couple breakups, and I would bring my guitar and like we'd sing a little bit, and she would tell me how much she loved it. And it was really you know, like when people give you a compliment that you're like, oh, like you just like me as a person. And so like you're just telling me like it's good. Then there's other people who actually like your music. And it kind of helps you realize that your hopes of being a good musician are more than just hopes. And Carol Lee was a person who spoke a lot of confidence to my music, and a season where I was just yeah, I was going through it. There was just a lot of stuff. And so she passed away about a month ago. But when I saw that she was like going to die like in a couple of days, I stayed up all night to write her a song that she wanted played at her funeral. And it really blessed her. But that was like, yeah. So Carol Lee was a big voice to encourage me to like not just write music for myself. And yeah, so I did. So part of this project in a lot of ways is dedicated to her, and also the result of a girl that I dated who made me believe in my own music. But ironically, like things ended so bad that she like unfriended me on Facebook. So shout out to Easton. You're a great girl. Sorry we can't be friends anymore.
Yikes. Wow. That's a really interesting story. What I mean, I'm really curious to hear more about the song that you wrote. Are you able, like, what's it about?
Yeah. So I believe in God, and I believe that she is in heaven. So the lyrics are, you've been sitting in the waiting room so long, and suddenly your name is called. Excited sadness fills the room. But the angels and the lights and sounds, the angels at the gates right now, who couldn't wait to bring you home.
Wow. That's beautiful.
So yeah, the song is like partly like a thank you, me thanking her for, I was going through a depression, tons of shame and stuff like I needed to process. And then, there's just something so, you receive love so much more, this is the wrong word, but so much more efficiently when you're in pain, and when you're hurting. And both of us were going through things, and I blessed her a ton, and she also profoundly blessed me. It's like part of the song is me thanking her for helping me through like my depression, and giving me courage. You just see somebody on their deathbed looking death in the eye, and it inspires, and she really did inspire me. So
Wow. That's awesome. Thanks for
yeah.
sharing that.
Yeah, bro.
So so now, you know, you're making music that you want to share with people. If you were to think like 12 months from now, like where are you hoping to go with your music
Yeah.
in those 12 months?
Yeah. That's such a good question. Um, I would love to release like a full album within the next year. So much of the music that I've written, like on the EP, it was all written like in the last month. And like I feel like as a musician and as an artist, you go through seasons emotionally where the music just kind of comes to you effortlessly. Like the best song I ever wrote was for Carol Lee, and it came to me just overnight. Um, I mean, it was a long night, so it wasn't like it was, um, instantaneous. But I've never been writing better music than I am right now. And so this is me dancing around the answer to your question that, I haven't really come up with a good answer to. I think I do need to sit down and kind of process, but I want to be playing at shows. I want to be playing at events, weddings, possibly a cruise or two. I want to be at 3,000 likes on Facebook, my fan page. And I also want to have at least one song that's gotten play on the radio, the local radio here in, not local radio, the radio here in Kansas City. They have like a local hour a week that like musicians can get on. And so that's like one of the biggest goals, bro. Like Dude, I'd probably like weep when I finally hear like my music on the radio. It'll just kind of be like one of those like empowering moments, and I know it's good enough. Like I have no doubt in my mind, and so I am ecstatic. But also, I'm job searching to get back into medical devices, and this is at the moment like on the front end of any music career, you're not going to be making enough to sustain, and so I'm looking to work a job, no longer serve tables, get back in the OR for at least a little bit, so that I can kind of finance this dream that I actually want to do. And so have a couple friends that have been helping me write. Braille, who's a rapper, local. Man, like I feel like you hear local rapper and you immediately think like low quality, low content, like a guy who's the guy's exceptional. You should definitely check him out. He's really good.
What's his name?
Braille.
Braille. Well, what's one of his songs?
So he's a mix between. Can you still see me?
I can't, but
You can't.
that's okay. Yeah, I just can't search Braille because then it just shows me, the reading for blind people. So
Say
like,
what?
wait, what? Did you
Oh,
say what?
yeah. Okay, so you can pull up Topeka Proud, Braille Watson.
Okay. Braille Watson. Okay, cool. I found it. I'll check that out. Great. So, do you have that? Do you have music recorded already?
Yeah, so I have 2 songs that I've posted on my Facebook, and it's video. One thing I learned very quickly is if you want plays, you've got to do video. Like you can't be posting like your SoundCloud links. Because I posted one song and it got like 60 listens over a week, and I was like, man, not many people listen to it. I wonder if I do video, if I'll get more listens. And then in like 10 minutes, it hit like 500 views. I was like, oh, okay, so this is what you're supposed to do.
Huh.
Yeah, so I mean, I haven't like converted it to just audio, but a couple songs. One was The Edge of a Feeling, which was after putting things down with Easton. And it was kind of like that limbo of, I'm going to reach out again in 3 months. I still have feelings for this girl, but we're going to take a break. But then things kind of like, got weird. So it's weird performing a song with expired sentiment, like a song communicating a feeling that you no longer feel.
Mm-hmm.
So like that longing is certainly absent on this side of things. The other one, bro, I feel like my album was brought to you by Hinge. Like there's so many, the girls that I've dated, and just music comes to me after like breakups. So my plan is to date, all I need to do is date 10 girls, break up with them quick, and every single girl will give me the next song.
I think that's what Taylor Swift does.
Bro, exactly. Yeah, I just need 10 reasons for the teardrops on my guitar. And then,
Nice.
yeah, bro. So, yeah, dude, check it out. Have you listened to any of my music yet?
Mm-mm. I haven't.
Okay, cool.
How do I find it?
We're friends on Facebook.
True. It's just
So,
on your wall.
yeah, so it is The Edge of a Feeling and Hey Lindsay are the 2 that I put on there. I'm really proud of both of them. Hey Lindsay will be the one that I'm going to try to get on the radio.
Nice. What about the one that you wrote for your friend that died?
So yeah. So the plan is to put it on. So the conflict that I have here is it's weird sharing a song with people that it wasn't written for originally, and never gonna perform that song. She's gonna be the only person to ever like hear it live. But that song really blessed like her and her family. And I have not yet asked her daughter if it would be okay if I put it on the album. So the plan is to put it on, but the last thing that I want is for it to be perceived by her family as if it was like some kind of like publicity thing, that I'm just trying. So like, I'd be surprised if she asked that I would not, but I'm also not going to promise that it's going to be on the album. I think it will be, but it's also possible that it won't be. But I'd be happy to send it to you on Facebook Messenger. The recording is not the way I usually sing, just because like, man, there were a lot of tears in the studio, and I decided to go with the recording, the recording's emotion instead of like the actual, singing quality of the song. But yeah, I'd love to share it with you. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. And so when it comes to the music that you're planning on releasing, like who are the kinds of people that you want to hear it, and what message do you want them to get from it?
Donovan Woods is at the moment like my favorite singer-songwriter, and I'd be honored if he would eventually hear it. It's part of my goal within the next year to get my music in front of guys that like I've been influenced by. But I don't think it's fair to the process to pick or to decide what you want people to receive from your music. I think what I can do with the ball is I can shoot and I can put out quality music. And then if they like it, that's awesome. But I'm also, if they don't, like, that's perfectly fine. I need to have the resolve as a musician to continue whether or not the people I admire like it. There's just so many great musicians. George Lucas he put out Star Wars, and like before the final cut, he showed it to all of his director friends, and his director friends, their response was, "Hey, George, bro, we love you. This isn't good." Star Wars. And so as an artist, you have to have the courage to push through the rejection to finally get to the product that you see that maybe other people's don't. And so this project that I'm coming out with is going to be underproduced. It's not going to be as excellent as like the song is in my head, and like that's okay. I'm going to get there. But the message that I would like for them to receive, I hope they like it. Super simple, but a general audience. I want them to stories that they connect with. I feel like part of the reason why Donovan Woods is such a great musician is he tells stories in his music that are specific but vague enough that somebody else can listen to it and bring their story into it and kind of like make it their own. Like, it's why like the sappy dashboard confessional songs like are so popular is because everybody can connect with like the hurt or like the blood. I feel like there's nothing more relatable in music than like bleeding, than struggle, because everybody has gone through it one way or another. And and so, man, for some people music is company, and I would love for my music to be company, and to be enjoyed. So that's really like the short spark notes. I'm excited to share it, and whether or not it's received well or not, I know it's going to bless some people, and a lot of people are going to like it.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So it sounds like mainly like your target audience is people that are going through struggle or have recently struggled with something, and you want your music to be relatable to these people and show them that they're not alone.
Partly.
Like if you were to think of Donovan Woods is like a famous music artist, but like who would make like the perfect like your first like strong core fans and supporters? Like what type of person, like outside of like friends and family, or maybe you could use those as examples, but like what kind of person do you think would be like if only one person loved it, like who is that person and why?
Yeah, that's a great. Um, bro, what if like your first fan is like literally like the person that you listen to the most? Yeah, my very
Pretty cool.
realistic goal is for Donovan Woods to be the first person to like my fan page. Um, Singer songwriter type, the people who enjoy. You know how video games, like back in the day, like they were so simple and the graphics were like so shitty, that like they had to rely more on gameplay than graphics. Like the games were like super fun, but like they just looked really bad.
Mhm.
And now like
Totally.
they put a lot more effort into graphics than maybe like the fun level of like the gameplay. I mean, I don't think anything's ever going to beat the N64. uh, the point there is I want to come out with music that even though it's simple, there's a heck of a lot of content in the lyrics. And so, man, I feel like it's arrogant to liken my music to poetry, but people who enjoy good writing. Um, I, I lead like a book club here in Topeka. And even though like, you know, books aren't music, I think you can translate quality writing and good vocabulary to put the finger on sentiments and feelings as a result of like what you read. Um, so people who like good writing, bro, honestly, I need to sit down and think about the answer to that question because like my answer, I'm realizing like how vague it is, and you can't really get an audience that you don't know you're trying to reach.
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
I mean, I could tell you're on the right track. I mean,
Yeah,
I understand what you're saying. Are there any clubs? You lead a book club in Topeka. Are there any clubs
yeah,
that where people share original music?
bro, it's Topeka, so I mean, I'm looking to move to Kansas City, and there's going to be like more opportunity there to do stuff like that. But Topeka, man, awesome people. It's just not a place where music grows and thrives. And like they're, I mean, I might look into like creating like a meetup where guys can like share music and stuff. If that would even get any traction, but I'm looking to be in Kansas City here in 3 months. So it's kind of like, would the effort really be worth the outcome of like you want to give your energy towards things that would be productive? And I think like me creating something like that right now. Um, but also that said, like I feel like I have like my micro group that we share music together. It's just like not like a formal thing. Um, yeah, so I guess I do kind of have like a group like that, but
Hmm.
it's certainly not like a formal.
That makes sense. And the book club. I mean, maybe people in your book club. Do you think they would like your music?
They do. They do like it. Um, they really like it actually. I've got and it's not because they like me. They've just kind of connected with the lyrics. I think as millennials, bro, like one thing we've gotten to be so bad at is to healthily observe and process our emotions. And like if we disagree with someone, if somebody voted for Trump, we just give them a big fuck you and we just walk away. And we haven't really learned to, um, we're bad emotionally. Like we just let it drive the train.
Yeah.
And so part of my vision in my music, in my music in a lot of ways is kind of like journaling. Where it's me, like I'll usually sit down and start writing and just a lot of garbage comes out that I'm like, man, this is like a really unhealthy way to process or like really unhealthy expression of a sentiment that I don't want to feel. And so like the first lyric to the Hey Lindsay song is on second thought, all of the kind words said to you, I still mean. And it's the picture of rejecting the bitterness and just learning to walk away from things with gratitude instead of anger. To like, if I write a breakup song, I want it to be a song that I'm proud of writing. It if the ex that I wrote it about, like, it ever hears it. And so like Lindsay and I are still friends, and so like she heard it and she loved it. The outro lyric is, "Hey Lindsay, even dead end roads can have the best views. Let's just call this one of those." And it's just
Nice.
the word picture of, this isn't going anywhere, and we're not going to take it anywhere further. But there was a lot of good and a lot of great things to appreciate, and memories made, and just, I mean, most of our relationships that don't end in marriage are going to be dead ends one way or another. And so learning to, yeah, bro, what was your question, man? I just went on like a rambling.
No, yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, I, something that I relate to is that the music that I write, I use it as like a way to process my emotions and feelings. Which it sounds like you are kind of the same way. And then you were talking about how you, it seems like maybe you want to inspire other people to write songs as a way to process
Yeah.
emotions, because it's something that people don't do enough of, especially these days. And yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's what you were saying.
So it's not even entirely wanting to inspire other people to process. But bro, I think there's something so powerful about music that even like the most rotten, angry emotions communicated in song can sound so good if it's well produced, that like, man, there's nothing healthy to hanging to the big fuck you, and shouting in anger. But man, it sure feels good and it sounds really good. Like, I can't think of like, but I think we often become the people, as a result of like what emotions we decide to feed. And so part of like my vision in music is giving, not a model. I'm still like learning stuff and going through it, but to just kind of give someone, man, there's so much more to learn when you no longer dwell on the bad things that you found in a relationship, but to look to the good and to learn instead of holding on to resentment and anger. Um, yeah, it's,
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense. So it kind of sounds like the people that you are writing to are people that maybe have had bad experiences with relationships, or something like that, and sometimes have trouble like getting over bad relationships. And so the music that you want to write, it's kind of like processing your emotions, showing people what it's like to let go of those emotions, and to focus more on the good, and less on the bitterness, anger, like regret. So to help people move away from those emotions and
yeah.
more towards gratitude
If
and
if I could
um,
paraphrase it, it would be, I'm writing to people who know that they're broken and who want to grow.
cool.
That would be like the most succinct way that I could put it.
Awesome. Okay, so we're a bit over time, but I want to get two more questions real quick. If you think to what you're trying to do with your music in the near future, like who is one person or one type of person that you think could help you get there a lot faster, or like what are aspects that you think might happen that having somebody else to help you with? Sorry, I didn't phrase that well. But like, who can help you do what you want to do going forward?
Yeah, great question. One sec. The battery on one of my earphones is dying. Um, so Braille, the guy I'm friends with, I know that there's songwriting, and you can write great songs, but unless you know how to work with it in a studio, a lot of your ideas can kind of dead end. And so a lot of the value that I need at the moment is learning how to produce, and record my music well. That's a really big thing. And I also love mixing genres. So like mixing R&B and hip hop into my songs will be on the next project. But like the means that I have available, like I can't, you know how like your favorite musicians, like their music wildly evolves from like their very first project to 10 years later down the road. And largely it's just because their skills in the studio have finally arrived or have made enough progress where you can hear it in the music. And so there's a guy named Mark Riblet. I don't know if you know who he is, but like he is hysterical, really good musician, but like his videos that he always puts out, like he just kind of loops stuff. So like he lays a beat and then he lays a melody and sings like some goofy stuff. Yeah, he's exceptional. But that's one of the specific skills that I need to develop because I have so many ideas that I'm so stinking excited about that I really can't go anywhere with until I develop an ability to loop well and to just play with that stuff. Yeah,
cool.
John Bellion. John Bellion is a guy that I love.
Or you could hire somebody like a recording engineer who would be able to do that stuff for you. Like if you wanted to just be the do the songwriting and performing stuff, then you can have somebody else that like can handle the rest for you.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
then it costs
money. For me, it's not the issue with the money, but it's the man. I think you lose value when you don't learn how to do things yourself. And I think so much of the creative process is making bad music and learning what sounds good. And so like to like even have someone else do that for you, you're kind of even starting at a place where like you need to make quality. Where if you learn to do it yourself, you can make shitty music and keep refining your craft in a closet next to your shoe rack and your floral t-shirt. Hey, whoa, look at that.
Awesome. Okay, so my last question here is, so imagine somebody is sitting on their computer or their phone, they're watching this interview, and now it gets to the end. What's a message that you want people to know in the world, whoever's listening? What do you think is some important life lesson or just like something that you want people to know?
Man, if you've made it 40 minutes into this phone conversation, the first thing is, hey, you should probably go out and do something.
Yeah, do something. I mean, that's a good one.
No, I was just trying to be stupid and funny. What would I say to people? I'd say, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. I think we need to surround ourselves with the people who are going a direction that we want to go. And if we don't, we will accidentally go the wrong direction and we will go the wrong way. And so a lot of us, when it comes to friends, we prioritize company over quality. We want a good time. I mean, surround yourself with people who are going somewhere worth going, and aggressively pioneer the trail that you need to go alongside them.
Cool. Awesome. You should check out the song "Do Something" by Kid Rohan. I think you would like it. It's one of my rapper friends from the internet. But anyway, yeah, so JJ Swanson, thank you so much for joining me today. I had a great time talking with you.
Yeah, bro.
Got music coming up. Yeah, what's
so up? Now you can probably cut the remainder of this of this video. So
cut. Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling's focus. Focus on love. Love what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling is bogus. Focus on love. Look what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling's bogus. Focus on love. Look what's in focus. Aim for above because the ceiling is bogus. I wanna lay down a never-ending road. We never go to